Greetings everyone, I am Lunar Kitten Zero, and today we are checking out Dark Angels, Uncrowned Princes, Warhammer 40k lore by the Remembrancer. I'm not sure I said his name right. It's a very difficult word to say. But last time we were learning about the lion and me having another person to dislike besides Horus. I do not like Luther. But yeah, we're moving on through, and now we're on the Dark Angels. I have come to enjoy their aesthetic. I don't really know much about them other than they kind of look cool. Not big on their color scheme, but then again, I am picky about my colors. But I do like their armor. I think it's pretty cool. So without further ado, let's hop on in and learn about the Dark Angels.
Of all the weapons wielded by the Emperor's legions, it is not the cannon or blades that are most deadly.
It's the cat.
It is knowledge that has carried us to victories beyond count, and wisdom that has broken empires and kings.
Lion John. Oh, okay, that was the lion.
Among the Legiones
Astartes,
Astartes, right, there are debates on the efficacy and strength of each legion. Rivalries abound, and grudges are born from the glories won and lost in battle.
I like that.
Though of all the legions, there would be one held above all.
Okay, I know we're like just started, but look at the ornateness of this armor. It's so nice. Got everything, like all this embellishment, I guess you would call it. And you got, of course, the seals there. You got two in the chest and even under the wings of the eagle head, which that's just really cool. And good use of the skulls. Now, this is something I've not seen, is you got a skull in the middle of that U on the chest, but at the top you got the double-headed eagle. So that's interesting. And then the face mask is the double-headed eagle, and that's just really cool. It almost gives me a Captain America vibe for some reason. But I like this. This is really nice.
As the template for each to follow. The first legion of the Adeptus Astartes, the Dark Angels. As the first of the Space Marine legions to be founded, the history and heritage of such a prestigious honor would be far-reaching. First deployed during the end of the Unification Wars, it would be the first legion's solemn duty to aid in the culling of the Emperor's enemies of holy terror.
Oh.
Exceptionally deadly from their inception.
Alright, now this is what I was talking about. Now, I'm not big on green, but I love the mix of the cloth. But this Grim Reaper angel figure that they use in the middle of their... not use, but is in the middle of this outfit that they use as a symbol. I love it. Because normally when people draw anything with a Grim Reaper vibe, you get bone wings because he's a skeleton, or you get black wings. But this looks like white wings and in a black shrouded cloak, and it's just, I love that. And then of course, not only is that the symbol is cool, but you got the cloth on the armor, which I'm a sucker for cloth on armor. I think that's really cool. But then on top of that, you can see right there, chained to his hip is a book. And it's got a seal on it too, which really gives it that mystical vibe on top of it. And I'm going to be honest, I just really like that because it kind of makes me think of, I don't know how many of you out there have seen the Doctor Strange movie, the first one, not the second. I pretend that one didn't happen. But there was the books in the library that were chained because, the knowledge was like sacred and stuff. And I kind of feel that with the books they carry, like this is a sacred thing to them. Now, like I said, I don't know much about them. I'm just judging off of what I've seen and what maybe bits of information people have gave me over time. But this is just me reading the armor and looking at it. And as I was talking, I noticed that one seal has the middle symbol is a skull. Now that's interesting. I've not seen that for a purity seal, or no, I call it a purity seal. I don't know what they're called. But the seals, normally I see the crest of the, the two-headed eagle I guess is the Emperor's crest. The two-headed eagle I usually see like stamped in the wax. So seeing the skull is interesting. That's a new level to that I have not seen before. But again, I love the look. This is why I wanted to know more about them, because even though I'm not a fan of the color, I am a fan of the armor. And it's just, oh, and the weapon he's holding even has skulls around the edge of it. Oh, that's even more wicked.
First Legion of the Adeptus Astartes would be armed with extensive and powerful advanced weaponries and armor systems, while simultaneously being quick to produce and optimize for battle. With the Emperor of Mankind's utter conquest of Holy Terror, his first brutal army of Thunder Warriors would by necessity need to be culled. Alongside the Legio Custodes, the First Legion would aid in the culling of the Goliaths of Terra, heralding the new age of warriors at the forefront of humanity.
Wait. So the angels' jobs were to hunt down the Thunder Warriors and get rid of them? Is that what I'm getting from this? I didn't know they did that. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. I kind of wondered where they went. And I thought maybe the Emperor just, I don't know, took them out himself. I mean, he seems like he's, awesome enough to do it. Or they died in a battle. To be honest, I didn't put as much thought into it as I should have of where did they go. But now this makes sense if they were hunted down and wiped out.
His conquest of the galaxy, the Astartes of the First would lay the foundations and deeds for all Astartes that would follow. Their origins shrouded in mystery, the First Legion would wage war with distinction, yet the chronicles of their victories would be untold. Initially comprising of a diverse range of recruits from the islands of Albia to the Anatolic steppes, varieties of Terran cultures would define the Legion's early service. The crucible of knowledge from eras of untold wars from Terra's history, the First would forge a mentality and martial code of exceptional pedigree, forming so-called hosts within the Legion that would later be remolded.
Dude. I don't even know what that says. Something a gamma... I think Gammatron? There's just a lot of letters there. But I don't know what this is supposed to symbolize fully, but it's cool looking. Again, it's like that Grim Reaper with the wings, and this one looks like it's made of wood or some type of bronze. I don't know, but I like it.
Molded into the Hexagrammaton, these combat doctrines of...
Oh, he just said it. Say it again? Something, something?
That would later be remolded into the Hexagrammaton.
Hexagrammaton. Yeah, I'm never going to remember that word. Not even going to happen.
These combat doctrines of war would specialize in decoders of battle strategy.
Oh.
As their name would be known as the Angels of Death, the First Legion would adopt a symbol to represent their guise to which they had been attributed.
Okay.
The skeletal icon of death itself would adorn their banners, and as the left hand of the Emperor, the First Legion would accrue their battle honors and glories with humble, grim pride.
Oh, I am so ditzy. Now it makes a lot more sense. So and there's the black angel wings. So because they're hunting down the Thunder Warriors, they consider themselves the Grim Reapers because they have to go and take out this other group. Now the symbolism makes so much sense, and I got there. It just took a while. My computer brain apparently is on dial-up, and if you're young enough to not know what dial-up is, bless you. But yeah, it's slow, but it got there. I get it now. Again, beautiful work. I love the skeletal wings with the sword and the metal hanging off the ribs. But now this makes us so much more sense. I don't know why I was not putting that together. That they're death because they have to go after. Alright, we're going to continue.
With the Emperor's expanse into the Sol system and beyond, The newly proclaimed Great Crusade to unite humanity would see to the expanse of the Emperor's war effort.
Cool.
As the
I mean, not
remaining
cool.
19 legions
Maybe
would
cool.
grow in number before being sent to conquer the galaxy, alone, the First Legion would stand vigil as their brother legions would grow in number. Known singularly as his Angels.
What is that? I've never seen this armor. Like, y'all need to tell me. Like, let me move. Boop, there I am. Okay, so that armor, what is that? A particular type within the Dark Angels, kind of like how there's the when I was playing Orcs, the White Scar had a White Scar chaplain, and the chaplain was in a different color armor and style compared to the other White Scars. Is that the thing going on here? Is this like their... I don't want to say a chaplain because I don't know if every single one has a chaplain, but or is that just a weird take on the armor? Please let me know in the comments. It looks awesome. Looks very hard to move in though. The other armor feels like it's a little bit more streamlined for the body to be able to move. But I guess if you want it to be a walking fortress, job well done, because that's a walking fortress. And it's just really cool. Let's pop back over. Boop. And we'll continue.
The first would cleanse the frozen moons of the outer segments of the solar system for 10 Terran years.
Oh.
Further refining their formations into orders, specializing in specific arts of war, the First Legion would face the most grueling and difficult trials laid forth by the Emperor, and succeed with their continually improving skill at arms.
Okay.
Their armor painted deep shades of purest black.
Ooh.
The First Legion would return to Holy Terror as toughened veterans.
So their armor was black. I guess later they made it green. I'm gonna be honest, I prefer it in black. Not biased or anything. Totally not because my goth heart likes black and I play a lot of vampire games. Nope. But that is actually really cool. I love the symbol here again. This time it's a sword and it looks really good.
Of war. Seeking no fanfare
Oh.
for their deeds, the first would be assigned to the shipyards of Mars and receive vessels dating from the...
Oh, is this Mars? So this is what Mars looks like now, and they call it the shipyards of Mars. Oh, that's cool. My sci-fi self is just alive now. It's like, makes me think of all the times in Star Trek when they would sometimes get technology. It would sort of look like that. Like, I keep thinking Borg every time, but to be honest, this might be what a planet would look like if the Borg took it over. Now that I think about it. But, oh, that is cool. I'm already really enjoying this video. I was told there was a lot of good artwork in this, and already we're not even that far in, and I'm getting lost in the art, and I am so happy about this. Let's continue again.
The days of old night. For each other legion, they would be gifted ships, but the vaunted first would be entrusted with a fleet.
Oh.
The first to be crafted, refined and proven, it would be the duty of the First Legion to carve a path at the spear tip of the Great Crusade. They were the first of the Angels of Death, and their legacy
That is cool.
would be every legion's heritage. As the remaining legions brought planets into compliance, the first would hold the collective wrath of a remorseless galaxy at bay. As worlds of humans would be brought into the fold of humanity, his angels would cleanse nearby hovels of untold terrors from existence. For every shining spark of hope gleaned for the Imperium, the First Legion would lay waste to 100 nightmares.
Wow.
Their many victories against fathomless monsters of unremitting cruelty, censured from the knowledge of the First
What in the
Legion's
world is
histories
that?
to better safeguard humanity.
I wouldn't want to fight that.
Yet with their continued victories, the First Legion would slowly be consumed by their ego.
Uh-oh.
As the triumphs of the Legion would grow, the Astartes of the First would enshrine tradition as their foremost virtue. As each host and order grew in power, they would jealously guard their expertise, teachings, and tactics. Turning upon themselves, the Astartes of the First would become secretive and no longer share their knowledge with their brother legions. With some legions such as the Ultramarines and Imperial Fists challenging the First Legion's power with their Primarch's discoveries, the superiority of the First would be challenged. Their pride would begin to cost the Legion victories and losses to their number.
Now, since they're so prideful, I have a question. So, since they're so prideful, is that a thing that, as it sounds, that they just developed over time? Or is it a side effect of their Primarch? Because the Primarch has pride, so they get pride. I mean, it's definitely sounding like this is over time. They just got very traditional, got very closed in, and didn't want to share their knowledge and, by the sound of it, the spotlight. Like, we're the First Legion, so we're more important. At least that's the way I'm understanding this.
Defeat would be a bitter taste for a legion accustomed to unchallenged victories and the greatest of weapons, vessels, and numbers to fight their opponents. Yet with the discovery of Caliban by the scouts of the 5th Legion, the First Legion's downfall would be prevented.
Oh.
Within the dark forests
kitty.
of Caliban, a Primarch had faced the dangers of the feral world. Lion L. Johnson, Master of the Order of Knights, had culled the beasts of the forests and united Caliban's populace under his own banner. Despite the world's primitive technological capabilities,
I have a sword and a gun.
The Knights of Caliban had faced the terrors of their homeworld and conquered them. With the Emperor of Mankind's reunion with his gene son, the Lion would be given command of the vaunted First Legion.
Okay, got it. Pause again. I know. Already. But, dude, that's a really good artwork of the Emperor. I love the glow of the halo, this time glowing in a way that doesn't make me think he's blonde, and the burning sword, which again is a very kind of a religious symbol, because I know there's supposed to be an angel, I think, had the burning sword. Yes, I went to Catholic school, and yes, my knowledge is shoddy because I kind of forgot a lot of it, but I do remember the burning sword, because I remember thinking, well, that's really cool. I was a weird child. But yeah, this is really cool. And the eagle on the front, again, very prominent, just fits so well into the armor. It just makes sense there. Like, every time I've seen this armor, there's never anything on it that doesn't look like it would fit on the armor, and not just like somebody glued it there and randomly with no thought. All the parts fit together, they make sense, and it just it's so pleasing to look at. I love it all.
Renaming them the Dark Angels after the ancient Calibanite myth of their heritage, a new era would begin for the First Legion.
Okay, so the First Legion became the Dark
Lion
Angels.
would test his new warriors to observe their prowess in battle. Standing against the captain of each company, garbed in their...
Oh, their captain. Well, now I know what the big tin can looking people are. And what I was saying earlier, I was mumbling to myself there a bit, was First Legion became Dark Angels. I was wondering about that, because I was thinking in my head, but I wasn't saying out loud, is when did the name change and why? And now this makes more sense. I thought maybe the old Legion got wiped and a new Legion came in, and thus the new Legion was called Dark Angels. But no, it's the same Legion, just renamed by, I believe, the Lion. So yeah, and then these are captains, or as I'm calling them, walking tin cans or fortresses. I want to say tin can. It looks like a tin can to me, like some old school Wizard of Oz, Return to Oz, TikTok kind of thing. actually, this particular one, for those who haven't seen it, check it out. The movie's called The Labyrinth. There's a part where they get to the Goblin City and they have to fight a giant goblin robot. That's what that reminds me of now more than anything. Oh my god, it is the goblin robot. I'm having too many thoughts. Because now I see the similarities way too well.
Their cataphracti pattern Terminator armor, the Lion would best each in combat with his own Calibanite steel. Taking their measure,
Kitty.
the Lion would begin to incorporate his Knights of Caliban into the Legion. Ashamed at the state of their once glorious Legion, the Terran Astartes of the First would attempt to redeem their honor by throwing themselves into engagements with renewed zeal. Yet with dissent rising between the Terran and Caliban Astartes, the Lion would disband the knightly orders and Astartes hosts in order to rebuild the Legion as a unified army. As Caliban's surface would be transformed by the Imperium, so too would the First Legion. The Lion would see the galaxy teeming with beasts to slay in the name of the Imperium, and with his dark angels by his side, he would slay every one of them that dared to stand in his way. A primal force of destruction, the Lion would not heed the passions often championed by his brother Primarch.
That is crazy picture, love it.
Instead, he would renew his Legion's honor by crushing the enemies of humanity. Merging the teachings of Caliban with the Terran Astartes' experiences.
Alright, before we even continue again, this, where it looks like they're coming out of a fog or something, just the haziness of this image and the glowing red eyes. Again, this is that black and white with the pop of red that I always talk about. Dude, it's just so intimidating and so badass, and I love it. That is just too cool. I'm just studying it, especially the way the skulls are. It's almost haunting. It's almost like they're ghosts coming out of the fog, which kind of works, I guess, for their image, the dark angels. But they can make an entrance if that's how they show up. Whoever the artist is for this artwork they nailed it. It's beautifully done. Love it.
The Hexagrammaton would be forged, and his quest to reunite the disparate companies of his Legion into a cohesive fighting army. After years of toil, the Lion would succeed in reorganizing his fragmented Legion into 100,000 Astartes strong. Swearing an oath to his Astartes, the Lion would declare, "We are the angels of darkness. For us there is no peace, no end by war and death. We shall not walk in the golden halls of mankind's future, but stand resolute in the shadows beyond.
I feel like there needs to be
While
a metal
we yet
rift.
draw breath, this Imperium will not fall, and we will not know defeat.
And then
For
just
I
headbang.
pledge every warrior, every drop of blood in the Legion in the name of victory, no matter the cost."
Okay.
Assigning new masters to each newly formed wing of the Dark Angels, the Lion would lead his Legion into the wars to come, pledged to kill the enemies of his Imperium and nothing else. As the Great Crusade waged on, the Dark Angels would reclaim their glory as a respected and indomitable force. Despite the Lion's dour and cold demeanor, his deeds as a general of his Imperium would be exceptional, bringing many
Everybody loved
worlds
the
into
kitty.
compliance.
Dude! I was getting ready to say everybody loves the kitty cat, but look at this. Let me actually get a little out of the way there so you guys can get a full view of that side over there with the lightning. He's zapping. He's got lightning come out of his eyes and mouth. You got this skull-headed, I'm going to assume that's the Dark Angel, lifting their very odd-looking eagle-winged axe. And it's just, you got the fires burning. I realize now they're fighting orcs because he's standing on one. I'm sorry, boys. You warged a little bit too close to the sun, I guess. But at least maybe you'll go to Orc Valhalla and you can fight all eternity for the god's amusement. Which god was it that liked that? Oh god, was it? I'm confused. Was it corn or mouth stomach guy? What was his name? The Rot Man. I forgot what his name is now. Oh, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Whichever one that really likes the orcs, they could go and maybe entertain them. Sorry, boys. I'm sorry you're gone. But yeah, this is interesting because you got this one back here in the background, and they have, it's like right there next to me. It's got some type of thing on the back there. It looks like a little coffin. I'm not sure what that is, but it's cool. You guys let me know what that thing is called, and what is its purpose? Is it just decoration, or is it actual, like, got some type of like, I don't know, corpse dust or something in there? I'm very curious about it. Let me pop back up over here, ta-da, and we'll continue.
And slaying malevolent terrors of the galaxy, the Lion's quest to unify the galaxy in the name of humanity would be absolute.
Okay.
Never relenting in his duty, the Lion would never rest on his laurels for parades or self-indulgence, but rather prepare for the next battle to bring humanity closer to its ultimate goal. For these qualities, the Lion would be considered for the rank of Warmaster, despite the honor being bequeathed to the Primarch of...
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he got it, alright. That was not a problem. It's not like he was a big crybaby and Dad had to do something to make him, you know, be all nice because he had to have, you know, the tell me I'm a good boy points. But, you know, it's fine. I'm not upset or anything when I see him. Nope, I'm good.
the Lunar Wolves, Horus Lupercal.
Mm-hmm.
Yet with the Warmaster's fall to the thrall of the ruinous powers, it would be the Lion and his Dark Angels, which would be arguably the greatest threat to the traitor's schemes.
Oh, he's carrying him like that.
Ordered to
Holy
wage
crap.
war on the furthest reaches of the galaxy, Horus Lupercal would spread the Dark Angels far from his treachery before his opening gambit. Despite their stalling to face the traitors, the Dark Angels would nonetheless prove an exceptionally potent force against the Warmaster. Facing the Night Lords during the Framas Crusade,
Dude, again, we're not even that far into this video and I am just getting blown away. I really did not realize when they said, oh, there's so much artwork in here you're gonna love. I was taking it mild, like, oh, okay, you know, some artwork I love, cool. I wasn't expecting this much, and I'm not even through this video yet. Holy crap, look at this. You got that light coming off of the sword, the lightning crashing, which might be what's reflecting that light from the sword. You got these fighters coming forward, and the way the lightning is illuminating their back, and you got the rain, and you got this silhouette almost, except there's just enough light that you can make out the armor, you can make out certain details and the color. Oh my god, I love this picture. I know I said that about the other pictures, but I don't know, something about a good rainy, stormy night picture. It's just like how sometimes stories start with that, on a dark, stormy night. I'm a sucker for it. And I love this. Ah.
the Dark Angels would best the undisciplined rabble of the 8th Legion, yet be delayed from returning to Holy Terror to defend the Throne World. Joining with the Blood Angels and Ultramarines within the Ultramar system, the 3 Legions and their Primarchs would be separated from the Imperium with the birth of the Great Rift across the galaxy. Further attempting to staunch the wound inflicted upon humanity, the Primarchs would found the contingency of Imperium Secundus in an attempt to create an empire to replace the potentially destroyed Imperium. Yet with the news of the Emperor's continued survival, the Primarchs would resolve to travel to Holy Terror.
Okay.
Enabling the Blood Angels to breach an opening within the ruined storm, the Ultramarines and Dark Angels would not return to Holy Terror in time to prevent the death of Sanguinius or Wounded.
Why you gotta bring that up? I know it happens. But man, it makes little Sanguini up there sad. Totally him sad, not me sad. I'm not having a moment. Look at it. Look, he's right there. Right at that jerk's feet. And yes, I know he saw the future and he knew it was going to happen. I'm still sad about it. Okay, take a breath. Good. We're good.
Of the Emperor. Instead, Lionel Johnson would attempt to draw the traitors from the throne world by razing their own homeworlds to the ground.
Oh.
Destroying the Emperor's children homeworld of Chemos and Death Guard homeworld of Barbarus. The Dark Angels would be unable to prevent the traitors from enacting the Siege of Terror. As the Emperor of Mankind began his long vigil upon the Golden Throne, the Dark Angels under the command of the Lion would seek retribution. Rallying the Loyalist legions in their great scouring of the traitors to the throne, the First Legion would pursue the fleeing traitors across the galaxy. Despite many foes being slain by their hand, the Dark Angels would attempt to muster reinforcements from their homeworld of Caliban to better suit the Legion's new duty to destroy the Warmaster's broken armies. Yet as they arrived in orbit of Caliban, the planet's defenses would fire upon the Lion's fleet. Enraged, the Lion would lead his men to confront the duplicitous warriors whom had once served in his name.
Okay, so wait, am I understanding this right? So he went back home, and the warriors he had sent there turned on him and started shooting at him the second they came out or were in the atmosphere? Is that what I'm understanding happened? I know it's all because of Luther here, but maybe I missed it just now, why he said they went there. I'm assuming he went there to basically get them back into, like, alright, we need more people, we need to build our numbers even greater to go in, deal with all these other people. Which, he might have been coming back for those guys? Or something? I forget why he came to this planet. But either way, they were just not happy to see him by the sounds of it.
Confronting his once most trusted mentor and friend, Luther, the Lion would duel the now chaos-empowered knight. The Lion would be wounded by his once father figure, and with the deceit of his actions realized, Luther would be racked with guilt at his actions.
He should be.
As the planet began to be torn asunder by the birth of a chaos-infused warp storm, the Watchers in the Dark would rescue the Primarch.
Wait. Back up. Say that again?
As the planet began to be torn asunder by the birth of a chaos-infused warp storm.
So a chaos-infused warp storm took out the Lion's planet, or started to tear it up? I don't know if that planet's still around. Also, new question, warp storms. How often do those happen, and what causes them? Is it a lot of war, a lot of emotion going on, a planet under siege? Let me know in the comments about these warp storms. Very interesting about that. And I didn't realize the planet was in danger of such a thing. So that's even more interesting.
The Watchers in the Dark would rescue the Primarch. Caliban would be sundered, with only the fortress monastery of Alderuk and the earth it stood on surviving the destruction wrought by the ruinous powers. Yet with time, Caliban's broken earth would be salvaged and be formed into the vast space vessel known as the Rock.
The Rock,
serving as the Dark Angel's homeworld and flagship, the Rock would harbor its armies, armaments, secrets, and deep within its chambers, unknown by all but the Emperor himself, the Primarch. Entombed within a stasis chamber, the Lion slumbers until the time for his Dark Angel's redemption shall be at hand.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Their quest to hunt down the fallen angels whom betrayed their trust, seemingly never fated to end. The Dark Angels know not as to the fate of their Gene Father, hidden within the most sacred and hidden chamber of their home. With the fall of their brothers to the thrall of...
Wait, maybe I'm confused. Um, was he in the ship that they called the Rock, and he was hidden in the chamber? But he said in the hidden chamber in the homeworld. Are they calling the ship now the homeworld because they call it the Rock, or is the planet still around and he's there? Where was he sleeping for 10,000 years? I'm a little confused. I might have confused myself overthinking this.
Of chaos, the Dark Angels conceal the truth of their Legion's corruption from any outside of their ranks.
Oh.
Fearing censure or even excommunication from the Imperium, should such a truth be revealed, the Dark Angels go to any lengths to obscure and redact any traces of the fallen angels of Caliban.
So now this stuff is making more sense. So pretty much, the fallen angels were the original knights from, I believe it's called Caliban, who followed Lion into becoming Dark Angels. But things happened. They got exiled with Luther back to the planet, and when Lion showed up later with the Dark Angels, the Luther and those guys attacked them, fired up at their ships and things, and because of that, they became known as fallen angels, or the fallen. And Luther's feeling bad because he's a bad dad. So, okay, so you got the fallen that are made up of those guys, and the Dark Angels are erasing all knowledge about them. I'm assuming they don't want people to know their Legion, in a way, split in two, or that they allowed that to happen, which is why they make sure it's all redacted and removed. But this clears up a lot on why they don't want people to know certain things. Before, I thought it was just general information, but this makes way more sense.
With their homeworld destroyed and Primarch missing, the Dark Angels would busy themselves with the destruction of the enemies of his Imperium. Yet as news of the fallen's survival would be revealed, the Dark Angels would resolve to purge their treacherous kin from the galaxy. Despite all that the First Legion had endured, a glint of redemption sparked in their duty to slay their former brothers. Atoning for their failure, the Dark Angels would be divided into successor, so-called Unforgiven chapters by the ruling of the Codex Astartes.
Okay.
Yet the imperative goal of all Sons of the Lion would be to hunt down and destroy the Fallen, no matter their directives or assignments tasked by the Imperium. Torturing the former First Captain of the Legion, Luther, for centuries within the bowels of the Rock, the Dark Angels would attempt to decipher the treachery indulged by the Fallen.
What? Wait. So, while Lion slept for like 10,000 years, Luther was interrogated for a really, really long time. Now, am I remembering this correct? That Luther didn't go through the process, so he never became one of the Marines. Or a fallen angel. He is still just him. I guess like he was too old or body or something. And if they tortured him for, I think they just said centuries? How long is people living? I'm going to assume that's a tech thing. Tech just keeps them alive for a long time. Either way, holy crap. And see, he has glowy green eyes. I told you green's the evil color. Not all green, just when Luther uses it. It's bad color. Though it works really well for this artwork. I just didn't know they well, I mean, it makes sense why they would. I mean, you did hurt their Primarch. You hurt their dad. Now they beat up their grandpa. That's actually kind of funny now that I think about it.
Yet with the invasion of the corrupted fallen demon prince, Marbas, of the Rock, Luther would escape.
What?
Despite their reinforcement of Primaris Marines sent forth by the returned Ultramarines Primarch, Rabute Gilliman,
Hey,
Portents
Rabute.
of the Fallen, building a sizable army within Imperium Nihilus, trouble the unforgiven chapters of the Dark Angels. Sightings of Fallen within the Somnium Stars, in numbers capable of threatening the Imperium, now of the utmost danger, with their former commander now returned to wreak havoc across the galaxy.
Oh, okay. So, he got out, and what did it say? It said, try to remember what he said. Pretty much he got out, and I guess he's causing, is he still guilty? I'm assuming he's still guilty. He's out, maybe feeling guilty and causing problems, by the sounds of it. And then I guess, I got distracted by why Rabute was brought up, because as soon as I heard the name, my brain started giggling. I know I have the maturity of I am a kitten. I'm assuming Rabute is like, we gotta get that Luther guy and deal with that guy, because that's a problem. He hurt my brother. Very interesting. I don't know what planet this is, but this looks really cool too.
The Dark Angels, bereft of their homeworld, draw recruits from a variety of planets, but predominantly recruit from feudal worlds lacking in industrial sophistication, alike to Caliban. Initially recruiting from a singular
medieval?
world known as the Plains World, the Dark Angels would diversify their candidates with the Plains World's corruption by the Tyrannid Xenos. Taking only the strongest juveniles from each planet, recruiters screen the candidates to join the Legion and erase all traces of their past lives. Undertaking the rites of initiation akin to other chapters of the Astartes, the Dark Angels aspirants who fail in their undertakings are mind-wiped and converted into servitors. Unlike other chapters, the Dark Angels use a preponderance of servitors in the stead of chapter serfs. Believing serfs with free will to be corruptible to their cause, the Dark Angels prevent compromise of their secrets and schemes. The gene seed of the aspirants and veterans of the chapter are amongst the purest of any Astartes. Degradation of their gene seed is unheard of, as even their Primarch Space Marines of the chapter carry gene seed of amongst the greatest quality observed in any chapter.
Okay, so hold up. So they go to planets that sound like they're medieval-ish, basically like their homeworld. And they look for young boys that are strong enough to handle the transformation. If for some reason they fail this transformation, they become what they call servos or something, which you guys have been in the comments trying to explain what servos is, and I think I finally now understand from seeing that image, and this actually is a really cool image too. And the way they're explaining it, basically like a bio-organic robotic servant that used to be a person, but they mind wiped it. They man in blacked it with the flashy thingy. Okay, so this is interesting. They use the servos because they feel that if they had used regular people, those people are corruptible, which they don't want. And they have a whole system for how they, that is just, I know I'm getting a little scatterbrained there, but I'm finding this really, really in-depth and interesting. Also, I'm getting really distracted by the amount of detail in this artwork. Again, the ornateness of the armor, and artists who spend time putting in all those details, power to you, because I understand what it's like to get really lost into the details. This artwork I love. It's just really good. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me pop over. Look at this one here on the side. The amount of detail right down into the hand. Oh. And you got that book again. It's a book that I was talking about. I'm assuming that's sacred text of some sort that they have. But now I understand servos. And now I understand why they use them as servant. It's not just well, I mean, it is efficient to have a robotic person, but it's also literally to stop the chance of corruption. Though I wonder if you can corrupt a robot. And then on top of that, the gene seed of the one they said you can't corrupt it at all, which that's interesting.
No known gene flaws or mutations, it is nonetheless baffling as to the High Lords of Terror's decision to rarely found new successor chapters of the First. Collectively known as the Unforgiven, the successors of the First Legion share a uniquely close bond of cooperation compared to their cousin legions. Rumored to function more akin to a legion than separate chapters, the Emperor's Holy Inquisition often caused the Unforgiven chapters to take flight from war zones with their mere presence. As a result, the Unforgiven chapters are regarded with distrust from most branches of the Imperium.
Oh.
With many successors of the Dark Angels disappearing from Imperial records shortly after their founding, the Adeptus Terra only permits new chapters under the most desperate of circumstances. Yet with the involvement of Rabute Gilliman's position as Lord Commander of the Imperium, the Dark Angel successors have once again burgeoned.
So, the chapters were not expanding, and then I guess they erased some chapters, didn't want people to know about them, and now they are again? Is that what I'm understanding? That part got a little confusing to me. I'll have to rewatch this again. Maybe my brain's just not following properly. But that's the part I think I get a little mixed up of. So in the Dark Angels, there's chapters or like sections of the Dark Angels, and from the sound of it, some of them have been wiped out, info removed. Nobody can know about it, and then there's, I guess now they're making more chapters or something. I'm a little confused by what they were talking about right there, but we're going to continue.
Much to the dismay of the Ecclesiarchy, the Dark Angels do not give praise to the Emperor of Mankind as a god. Venerating their Primarch, Lionel Johnson, above all with exception to the Emperor, the Dark Angels believe the Master of Mankind to be a singular man, but a man regardless.
Okay, so now I can see where a divide is coming in. So the Dark Angels don't want to worship the Emperor like the way other groups are doing it. They are like, he's a man, and that's what he is. He's really cool, but he's a dude. Which the Emperor would have liked, because from what I understand, the Emperor didn't want to be praised as a god. So if anything, they're upholding his ways. They're actually being very true to it. Yeah, I can see why this is going to cause problems. Again, really good picture here. Beautiful light source. Just overall awesome. I do like that they follow pretty much what I call the will of the Emperor, which is don't worship me as a god. And they don't. They know him to be a man. Badass man, but a man nonetheless. That is cool. For what I've learned about their personality, it's very fitting. That's why I find it cool. They're not strained. They're not doing anything that's outside of what you would expect them to do. So, because I believe the First Legion was very traditional, so this makes so much more sense. But yeah, let's continue.
Consumed by their betrayal of their kin in the form of the fallen angels, the Dark Angels are relentless in their pursuit of their traitorous brethren. Driven to wipe all traces of their Legion's sin from the galaxy, the Dark Angels seek absolution from the destruction of their homeworld and fracturing of their Legion.
Okay, so their
For 10
homeworld is
millennia,
destroyed.
the First have toiled in their pursuit of the fallen. Capturing fallen angels and returning their charges to the Rock, the Dark Angels' interrogator chaplains utilize every method in their means to cause their fallen kin to repent. Given a swift and painless death should they comply, the fallen rarely surrender to the methods of the interrogators. The names of the slain fallen added to the Book of Salvation.
I'm starting to think I know what the book is they carry.
Though it is true to say that only the inner circle of the Dark Angels know the truth of the fallen, secrecy is a trait necessary for any Astartes of the First.
Oh.
Preferring to stand alone, or at most with their cousin Astartes, the Dark Angels are stringent in their dealings with outsiders. Impatient and terse with their dealings, the Dark Angels are seen as aloof and difficult to work with by their counterparts. Notoriously intolerant of abhumans, the Dark Angels refuse to deal with such militarum contingents. Yet despite their friction with Imperium forces, the Dark Angels are amongst the most capable and respected chapters of the Adeptus Astartes. The first service to the Death Watch, a continual example of their fortitude in battle, the Dark Angels occupy several senior positions amongst the ranks of the elite Xenos hunters. Bringing extensive knowledge to the Death Watch, the Dark Angels are often at the forefront of the most dangerous of engagements. Though some scholars posit that the Dark Angels extensively serve within the Death Watch in order to use its resources to ascertain the location of splinters of the fallen.
Okay, so wait. So they turned into basically hound dogs of hunting down the fallen so that nobody knows that they had a part of their group turn traitorous on them. And they're really closed off to outside people because again, they don't want nobody to know what's going on with them. But they're even joining other things in order to use the resources just so that they can continue their goal of nobody can know we screwed up. It's like they want to be seen as the perfect legion, and this would be a blemish to that perfect record. Like, we're so good we never had, none of these troubles and stuff that everybody else did. And it's like, yeah, except that time part of our group turned traitors because of grandpa was being a jerk, or step grandpa was being a jerk to our dad because he got jealous and we had to go smack him down and he escaped, but we don't want to talk about that either. So yeah, it sounds like they have a lot of drama. For a very secretive group, having a lot of drama seems pretty accurate, actually. Have you ever been in any guilds or groups like that on some online games? The more secret the group tries to be, the more drama based I swear it becomes. And Legion sounds like it jumped right into that. Which is kind of weird because you wouldn't think the lion would tolerate it, but then again, you think about his personality and his pride, and it makes sense. Though, at the same time, he seems so humble that it shouldn't affect him, so I guess this would be a flaw to that humble personality of his, is he can't stand being seen as not perfect. Not having the, I don't even want to say perfect, but not having the, traitor-free legion, I guess would be best way to put it. Yeah, I don't think everybody wants to walk around going, yeah, I got this legion and part of them turned against me and they're still alive. That does make you not look really good as a leader or at what you do, so I get it.
During their time as a legion, the Dark Angels' numbers would peak at the amount of 180,000 Astartes.
Wow.
Amongst the largest of all the legions, such as the Ultramarines and Sons of Horus, the Dark Angels would be one of the single most powerful armies within the Imperium.
Okay.
Difficult to observe by outsiders, the Dark Angels would maintain an obscured and complex command protocol in order to maintain secrecy within the Legion, often presenting themselves to allied forces without explanation to their command structure, to allow their allies to correctly identify the Legion's leadership, to prove their insight as commanders, and earn the respect of the Legion. Comprised of many of the most accomplished Astartes within the Great Crusade, the Dark Angels would gain incredible skill and proficiency in every discipline of war.
What is that? Is that... I don't think it's the walking coffin thing, or is it? I'm having a hard time telling what these giant... Eventually, I will understand just by a look of what the different giant robots are. I keep getting them mixed up. Either way, this kind of makes me think of the game I've been playing, the Orcs game. It's almost that art style. If I have to fight one of those in that game, uh-oh. But I like it, whatever it is. It's got a lot of guts. It actually almost looks like the Terminator. Not the Terminator. RoboCop's the robot he had to fight. Almost looks like that. Lots of seals on it. Lots of what looks like plaques with writing. And I'm not sure what it says on the front there, but let me know in the comments. What is that?
Deployed widely during the Great Crusade, and armed with the single most deadly weaponry recovered from the Dark Age of technology, the Dark Angels seen en masse would be a great omen for any engagement necessary to draw so many of the deadly First Legion to bear. Gifted with the largest fleet of any of the legions, the Dark Angels, even prior to their reunion with their Primarch, would bear many victories and compliances across the galaxy.
Okay, I gotta back up a second. This ship, hold on.
Would bear many victories and compliances across the galaxy.
Okay, now. Floating cathedrals are awesome. And it's got the Grim Reaper Angel as the front. That is so cool. And now I'm like, if the devs ever see this, the devs of V Rising, they need to do a collab with 40K and make like a space version of V Rising with these floating cathedrals that you could build your own one in space using V Rising's like castle building thing. They need to combine. This would be so badass. Vampires in space. Yeah. I'm alright. But that's all I could think when I saw it. But on top of that, I'm a sucker for cathedral looking architecture. And again, that Reaper Angel. I love it. I love that design. I love this whole thing. I know I say I love it a lot, but it's because I do. I just love, 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 love. Love, love, love. But, yeah, now I want V Rising and 40K to smash their games together and make awesome game. I think it would be really, really cool.
Encumbered during the Horus Heresy, due to the Warmaster's meticulous planning to divide the Legion, the Dark Angels would be fragmented, lest they overwhelm the war effort of the traitors. Denying the influence of the Warmaster's warrior lodges, due to their inherent structure of wings and orders, the Dark Angels would deny the corrupting influence of chaos.
Oh.
Yet with the Legion's fracturing by their separatist kin, and the scouring of the traitors to the throne, the fractured Legion of the Dark Angels would be broken down into Codex-compliant chapters. More insular and paranoid, the wider Imperium would note the further spiral of secrecy subsuming the Dark Angels. Turning a blind eye to the chapter's new monastic and reclusive behavior, the newly founded Inquisition and other Imperial orders would sanction the Dark Angels to continue to serve the Imperium due to the loss of their homeworld, Primarch, and otherwise exceptional deeds. Instrumental during the scouring of the traitors, the Dark Angels would prove themselves to be effective in driving the traitors to the dark corners of the galaxy.
Okay.
Whilst the Dark Angels follow the combat doctrines outlined by the Codex Astartes, the former Legion's history of stubborn defiance endures. Ignoring objectives should they catch even the hint of information usable to track down the Fallen, though an indomitable force of reckoning for the Imperium, the Dark Angels are not without flaws. Should a human life, or an Astartes life, stand in the way of a clue to track the Fallen, such life will be readily sacrificed for the need of the chapter.
Hold on.
Life, or an Astartes life, stand in the way of a clue to track the Fallen, such life will be readily sacrificed for the need of the chapter.
Okay, I thought that's what he said. I wanted to hear that again. So, they are becoming more and more secretive and paranoid, and they broke down into different, like, sections of the Legion. And they need to combine. 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 They need to I guess, chapters. And they will, okay, well, if you get in their way, you're dead. That's basically how that sums up. I had a second thought pop in my head, which is why I also paused there for a minute. Yeah, so then again, they're secretive and paranoid. Of course they're going to kill people who get in their way. But yeah, I definitely don't want to mess with these guys. So here's the other thing that clicked in my head. They keep mentioning the Codex. What is the Codex? I know I've heard it before. I might have been told what it was and I forgot. But let me know in the comments, what's the Codex? I believe it's a set of rules for the Marines to follow. Or are they all called Marines or are they called Astaris? Okay, either way, I believe it's a set of rules they're supposed to follow. But what are the rules and like how thick is this codex? And who wrote it? I have questions. So if you guys got the answers, please let me know in the comments.
For records exist of the Dark Angels turning on their allies in order to prevent information of the Fallen from being revealed to those outside of the First. For any who survive with knowledge of the Fallen are taken to the Rock to be lobotomized as servitors to the chapter. Adhering to the Codex Astarte.
Well, that answered my thing earlier about, well, somebody must know. Yeah, if you do, you better pretend you don't. And pray they can't figure out that you do know, because you're going to turn into robot slave. If I got no brain to hold me down kind of thing. I don't know why I started thinking Pinocchio is I got no strings, don't hold me down, except his brain. I think I'm a bit shocked because it showed them dragging an Ultramarine, and I'm guessing he found out about the Fallen, and they're really, really big on nobody knows about the Fallen, like at all. It's kind of crazy. I'm starting to think they're a little crazy.
With exception given to the Deathwing and Ravenwing companies, organization of the chapter is otherwise compliant with the tome's outlines. Extremely flexible in their use of combined arms and rapid deployments, the Dark Angels employ immensely proficient tacticians and specialists. With the incorporation of Primaris Marines further bolstering their exceptional skills at hunting down their prey and striking with overwhelming firepower. Incorporating these new units into their Ravenwing company to great effect, the Dark Angels have become reinvigorated with their new blood into the chapter. The core of the majority of strike forces comprise of battle-line squads, supported by close combat and fire support elements. Yet there do exist unique specialist formations within the chapter. The elite Deathwing 1st Company and Ravenwing 2nd Company can be called to support any engagement should the need arise.
Deathwing, Ravenwing. Okay, I'm starting to see wing is a very important theme here. Also, why does it look like they got really cool stuff too? Man, why is the aesthetics always so freaking awesome?
Though their primary objective is always to hunt the fallen angels should their presence be found. The 3rd Company, the Unmerciful, 4th Company, the Feared, and 5th Company, the Unrelenting, serving as the backbone of the chapter. These battle companies serve as the chapter's might brought to bear. The 6th Company, the Resolute, and 7th Company, the Unbowed, are defined as tactical companies. Comprised entirely of tactical squads, the 6th and 7th Companies excel at launching diversionary tactics and flanking maneuvers. The 8th Company, the Wrathful, consist entirely of assault squads and act as the close support company. Outfitted with jump packs, the 8th Company overwhelm enemy positions and cleave their way through defenses using melee combat. The 9th Company, the Remorseless, consists entirely of Devastator squads and serve as the fire support company. Armed with the most powerful long-range fire support weaponry of the chapter, the 9th Company aid their frontline brothers with overwhelming firepower. And finally, the 10th Company, the Redeemed, harbor the chapter's scout marines. The neophytes of the chapter train to become full battle brothers, with their most veteran members being assigned to strike forces to the other companies as needed. Yet with the return of Rebute Gilliman,
So you have all these different companies under Dark Angels, and they all have like their thing that they're good at. Like you got the one, I think it's the 8th, that has the jump packs, and then the 9th has suppressing power, or was that the 10th? Might have the numbers wrong. That is really well organized and cool, because I'm picturing already in my head how that can be used in tabletop or just in gameplay. Like those of you who probably have played or used your minis, how you would separate your troops on the field and work out your tactics and your strategies that way. I'm not good at tactics or strategy. My tactic is put on a lot of armor, have a really good HP pool, take sword, and go beat thing in face till it die. I really should play tanks, now that I think about it. But I always end up playing, like in 14, I went from ninja to dancer. Well, actually, I went from ninja to dancer. I did play a bit of red mage, but long range throwing weapons too. That's the other thing. If I'm not running in there to bash something in the face, I'm gonna hide in the wings and snipe it. And so hearing how these companies are broken down, I'm seeing that spread out on a table, and it makes sense, because you could look at them immediately and know, all right, enemies built this wall, send the jetpack boys over there to fly over the wall and deal with it. It's really well done. I just like seeing that, and it's also helping me understand, because before I was just seeing them as one blob. And now I'm seeing the breakdown. I'm now seeing the individual parts that make up the whole, and that's pretty cool.
and the influx of Primaris Marines, the structure of the Dark Angels and its successors has once more shifted.
Oh.
Now composing of 6 battle line squads, 2 close support squads, and 2 fire support squads, most deployments now consist of a battle company with additional Death Wing, Raven Wing, and Scout Marines, bolstering their forces as needed. With exception to the 1st, 2nd, and 10th Company, each company maintains a variety of transport armor designs, such as Rhinos, Razorbacks, and Repulsors.
Cool.
Dreadnoughts of the Legion remain in service to the company to which they serve during their internment, and slumber within the Rock's halls of silence until they are needed. During the era of the Great Crusade, the Dark Angels would paint their armor jet black,
Still cool.
with the Calibanite Astartes adorning the heraldry of their knight houses on their right pauldron. The Lion would order his sons of Caliban to honor the forests of their homeworld by painting their left pauldrons dark green.
Oh.
Yet with the end of the Horus Heresy, the color schemes of the chapter would be reorganized. The 2nd Company would remain jet black to honor their heritage, with the wider chapters adorning their plate with the dark green of Caliban.
Now I get why it's green. Green for force, green for Caliban. I get it now. I still don't like green, but I get it, and I will forgive it because it's cool.
Whilst the elite 1st Company, the Death Wing, would paint their Terminator armor bone white in honor of a battle fought against the Genestealer cult on the Plains world.
Oh.
Said to paint their armor in the color of death, as dead men walking, the ghost-like Deathwing of the engagement did not expect to survive their battle with the Devourer. Yet their fighting spirit would be proven, and their reclamation of the world would cement the colors of the Deathwing forevermore. For the regular Astartes of the chapter, each battle brother signifies their battlefield specialty on their right pauldron, with their squad numerical on their right shoulder.
Oh.
Whether they be battle line, close support, fire support, or veterans.
Thank you for breaking this down. I'm not going to remember any of this, but at least now when I see stuff on the, what do you say, the right pauldron, I will now understand it has a lot more meaning. At least with the Dark Angels, I don't know if all chapters do this, but it helps. It helps me definitely understand the thing. Wouldn't your enemy though? No, like check out your pauldron and be like, okay, he's a battle line. I'm pulling out the book, flipping through it. Okay, we know about this guy now. I'm assuming it's not information that's going to hurt you in battle, because if it did, they wouldn't paint it there. At least I would hope. Um, it would be kind of funny if you wanted to mess with your enemies, though. They'd be like, Shh, we got him. He's a battle liner, and secretly he's close support, but he's just wearing a different symbol to throw you off. I mean, that would be a good tactic.
The winged blade adorns their left pauldron, though members of the 10th Company, for not earning their wings, utilize only the blade of their chapter. The Deathwing replaced the bladed sword with a broken variant, and the Ravenwing utilize a blade held with a single winged raven claw. The Battle and Reserve companies show their company identifier on their left knee plate, whilst veterans of the chapter are identified by their armor's adornment in hooded tabards and cloaks. Signifying their knowledge of the fallen, these cloaks are used to hide their shame of the chapter's fallen angels.
Oh.
Unlike many Codex-compliant chapters of the Adeptus Astartes.
Dude. What? Look at that. First of all, I like the colors. I wonder why. Look at my armor. Look at his armor. Just saying. That is just awesome. And then you got the whole building back there. Okay, out of all the artwork, I'm going to have to say this has been my favorite one yet. I know it's black, silver, and red, my colors, and I'm a sucker for them, especially in armor. And now I really want to play a game where I can look like this, because this is too awesome. I want this exact armor. I want to run around looking this awesome. And the blade is so cool too. Oh, and you got the wings on the helmet and the glowing eye. I love this. Again, the artwork, it always amazes me. The artists of 40K are truly phenomenal, and I can never stop praising them so much. This stuff is just awesome.
The Dark Angels use terminologies and ranks to orchestrate the command between their various successors. The Supreme Grand Master of the Dark Angels acts as the Chapter Master of the first.
Okay.
Said to command not only the Dark Angels, the Supreme Grand Master leads the chapter's inner circle and is privy to every secret of the chapter and its legion's history. Supposedly commanding every successor chapter as the most senior rank of all the line's descendants, the Supreme Grand Master of the Dark Angels is amongst the most powerful individuals of the Imperium.
Okay.
For each wing of the Dark Angels, there also exists a Grand Master. The Grand Master of the Deathwing commands the elite first company of the chapter and acts as the successor to the Supreme Grand Master. The Grand Master of the Raven Wing commands the chapter's second company and serves as the chapter's leader of the hunt of the fallen angels. The Grand Master of the Librarians maintains the chapter's records and the protection of the chapter's secret.
Oh, okay, so this is where the librarians were. It makes a lot more sense. Also, again, my boys, man. Just rest in peace, man. The Dark Angels need to win, but doing the Force Lightning looking thing to this giant guy. I mean, he's got metal spikes, I think, in his head. So, good conductor, I guess, straight to the brain. But, love the depiction of the orc here. You could really tell that it's like Mad Max orc style. And I like that. I haven't seen a really good drawing of the orcs until now. And it's got to be, it almost gives me a World of Warcraft kind of feel for like the Horde. Yeah, definitely loving this.
The Master Apothecary tends to the chapter's medical needs and biological research.
I heard about those from
with
comments.
his most important duty to preserve the chapter's near peerless gene seed stocks. The Master of the Rock is a title equivalent to a chapter's Master of the Forge. Leading the chapter's tech marines, vehicle pools, and maintenance of the chapter's armory, the Master of the Rock bears the technological prowess of a Magos of the Tech Priests of Mars. Permanently hardwired into the control nave console of the Rock, the Master of the Rock maintains the workings of the gigantic vessel, but is not privy to the dealings of the chapter's inner circle due to his creed's ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus.
So he's hardwired into this, kind of like a mini version of the Emperor on the gold throne, who's like stuck in his gold throne and always, wired into it. And the rock, okay, so the planet is gone. So my earlier question was answered, obviously. And I'm guessing the ship is called a rock because it's like the version of their planet, like a rock of their world floating through the universe. Well, flying. But, so the guy's wired in. Oh, wow. And he doesn't know the inner workings because of the way they have things, because they're secretive and paranoid. That's the best way to sum that up. Still think they're a little crazy, though. Just a little bit.
The High Interrogator of the chapter serves alike to a chapter's High Chaplain. As Reclusiarch and Master of Sanctity of the First, the High Interrogator trains his junior-ranked Interrogator chaplains in their arts of psychological manipulation.
Oh,
The
gaslighting.
Grand Master
Okay.
of the Fleet commands the chapter's naval contingents, transports, and warship assets. Captains of the Legion are known as Company Masters and lead each of the 10 companies of the chapter. Although serving as members of the inner circle of the chapter, the Company Masters are not privy to the most dangerous secrets of the chapter. Each a veteran of the first company, the Deathwing, the Company Masters have proven their mettle in battle as reliable commanders and are given the honor to lead. Since the adoption of the Codex Astartes, lieutenants have served within the Dark Angels as the right-hand facilitators of their company masters. Often splitting each battle company into 2 smaller demi-companies, the lieutenants lead these smaller battalions into battle, allowing for their experience to place them as company masters. Should their senior officers fall in battle, the lieutenants are a vital role for each company.
And again, really, really, really cool art. Look at that. And he's got it like sketched into his head, the symbols. It kind of makes me think of Nightcrawler from X-Men, where he had the movie one, not the cartoon, where he had I think the writing or the holy symbols or whatever carved into his skin all over. Yeah, that's what that's making me think of. And again, great use of lighting. Lighting is just, it can make a artwork sing or sink. And this one is definitely singing, and I love it. I know I say I love it all the time, but again, I do. I don't have any other better words. But that symbol in his head is really kind of like, it's cool, but it kind of creeps me out a little bit too. For a second I thought he was wearing some type of helmet, but it's like, no, that's his head. And it looks like he's got bumps on the top, which I'm hoping are just bumps and not like something nailed into his head. Most likely something's probably nailed into his head. But either way, very cool picture. Love it.
And for those of exceptional battle prowess within the elite First Company, there also exist the Deathwing Knights.
Oh.
Imbued with the Lion's own semblance of strength, these veterans of the First Company uphold the traditions of the chapter whilst purging all manner of their most deadly foes. Members of the Inner Circle, the Deathwing Knights are brought to the Chamber of Judgment within the Rock to face the trials incumbent of their rank. Once prevailing in these tasks, the Knights are presented with a Mace of Absolution and Storm Shield by the Watchers in the Dark as a mark of their office.
Okay.
With even these elite warriors promoted to the rank of Knight Masters, armed with the Flail of the Unforgiven to better slay the enemies of the chapter. The Ravenwing Black Knights storm into battle on their customized Mark IV assault bikes.
Okay, they're cool.
Heavily armored cavalry units, the Black Knights pass 7 rites of the Raven in order to bear the honor. Carrying their Corvus hammers into battle, their bikes' plasma talons rend the enemies in their path. Led by their Ravenwing Huntmasters, the Black Knights form rally points for their kin companies to support. Each company also bear their veterans and champions with humble reverence. Ancients of the companies carry the chapter's banners into battle, spurring their battle brothers to fight with renewed vigor.
Cool.
And for their champions, each company appoints such heroes of battle by combination of honor duels, contests of strength, and other means to challenge one another. Confronting enemy warlords, captains, and senior officers, the Dark Angel's champions stride into battle, not only against the enemies of his Imperium, but also any Space Wolf champion offered to challenge their chapter's honor in battle.
I forgot. I forgot the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels like to throw down with each other. I forgot about this picture and seeing it again and getting that. I'm still giggling about the fact that they meet up and they're like, "You want to fight? Yeah, let's fight." And they just, all of a sudden you hear, "Let's get ready to rumble," and then boom, they just start going at it. Except it's probably a lot more violent. But it still amuses me that they do that.
Space Wolf champion offered to challenge their chapter's honor in battle. For the Dark Angels have many enemies across the stars.
Yeah.
And should they relent in their persecution of the guilty, humanity shall be subsumed by darkness.
Oh.
Empires, monuments and legends are built by those who are merely victorious. We were born to kill, not to build. We are not idle long enough to leave monuments, and we leave no work of the enemy intact to spawn legends. We are the First Legion, and he that follows in our wake is death.
Okay.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer.
Remembrancer.
The vaunted First Legion lay the foundations for every legion that would follow. Yet their pride would be their undoing in many crucial moments of their history. For our next transmission on the Legiones Astartes, we shall elucidate the Pathfinders unconcerned with pride above honor, or deeds unbecoming a true warrior. The Star Hunters of his Imperium, the White Scars.
Oh. Okay, well, is there anything else? Because that's just really cool. No, but, okay, so this is a Remembrancer. Seriously, those who suggested this, thank you. This is really, really this is really good. I'm glad you guys told me to check this out. This has been awesome. It has filled in a lot of gaps, for the Dark Angels. I created some new ones just because I'm a ditz and I get confused. But this is interesting. Also, I learned a lot about the individual chapters. I'm not going to remember them really well, but I'm sure over time, more exposure, the more I learn, the more things will stick, and some things will completely leave my brain just because I have a goldfish brain. But yeah, I love this, and the artwork. Oh, it's just too good. I don't have much to say other than thank you to the Remembrancer for making this video. It was awesome, and I'm definitely going to have to check out more. If you have not watched this video, there's a link in the description. Go check it out. It is definitely wicked. I haven't said that for the other videos, but same thing with my other videos. In the description, I always leave a link to the video that I'm reacting to. So be sure to check them out and give them a like. They deserve it. They do a lot of hard work, and they help ditzes like me understand 40K and fall in love with it more and more every time. So yeah, it is that point where I'm saying if you made it to this point in the video, you're awesome and you rock, and you know it. I say that a lot, but it's true. I need a break. I need some water. I might even rewatch this to see if I can get some more of this to sink into my head, especially the breakdown of all the chapters. That was just really cool. I'm excited. This has got me fired up. I wish I had another word other than I love it, but I do. I just love it. This is so much fun. But yeah, now it is that point in the video to say the magic words for YouTube, because YouTube loves its magic words and its offerings, which is, if you like that video, leave a like and subscribe. I'm gonna, like I said, get a bit of water, take a break. So until next time, you all take care. Bye bye.